So, over the last 2 weeks, we've had a number of discussions looking at, what is consciousness, what is the science of consciousness, and so on and so forth. We looked at scientific aspects and so on. So, I just want to bring you an info of what does our Veda Vyasa say about this. Yeah, I am more interested in what Veda Vyasa, the founder of the Vedantic system, what is his view on consciousness, because Sanatana Dharma as we have it today is based on the philosophy of Vedavyasa, who is an incarnation of Narayana himself. So the first question I want to do a stepwise logical analysis of this problem. Yeah. So the first question is, who is conscious? Is matter conscious? So let us look at this. So this whole thing here on the top, everything is made of Panchabhutas here, and everything is made of matter here. So you have the external world, then you have the bodies, the pindandas, they're all indriyas. Then they process the signals from the external world, which gets processed in the brain. And one of the an evolute of the brain is the mind, and the mind then, according to this view, mind is what is conscious, antakarana. Okay, according to this view, mind is conscious. Okay, so matter is conscious. Let us think about this a bit more. So we have the panchabhutas here on the left. What is this panchabhuta made of? It's made up of all the elements of the periodic table. The elements of the periodic table, they keep increasing. New elements keep getting added, not often, but occasionally. But the number of elements that is out there in the visible universe keeps on increasing. God only knows how many more elements are there in the invisible universe. So this whole body in this concept that matter is conscious would boil down to this. These are all the elements which somehow lead to consciousness. So what are these elements? These elements, as you all know from the talk from friends couple of weeks ago. So this is all made up of. So this all is this is all is made up of atoms. So all elements of the periodic table is made up of atoms. What do atoms have? You got the nucleus, and they have protons and neutrons in the nucleus, and you have the electrons spinning around. Now, the physics keeps growing, and now, of course, we've got other elementary particles, various quarks and leptons and so on. Again, that is a field that keeps increasing. There are more and more elementary particles. And then you go further down, then you have the quantum states of these elementary particles. So from quantum states, you're going to the elementary particles, then you're going to the atoms, then you're going to the periodic table, then you're going to the various panchabhutas, then all these panchabhutas are mixed together, then they form the bodies, then they form the brain, and the brain becomes the mind, and mind is conscious. Okay, so this is one view. Yeah, this could potentially be said called as a potential scientific view, and we had a lot of discussions about quantum states and so on 2 weeks ago. But our genius Vedavyasa puts a very, very important question here in Brahma Sutra or Vedanta Sutra in the second Adhyaya, second Pada, first Sutra. He puts a very, very pertinent question about this whole scientific basis of consciousness, and he asks a basic question: Rachana anupapatteshta na anumanam. So what does that mean? That means the question there is, can matter, which is an insentient being, capable of self-initiated action, where it decides what it wants to do? That ability for self-initiated action is not present in matter. Nowhere in the visible universe, nowhere the common experience, 7 billion humans on earth, nowhere is that experience that a jada, which is matter, is capable of self-initiated action. So this is the problem with the above view. And Vedavyasa again hits the nail on the head and says, ask yourself this question, whether insentient matter is capable of self-initiated action and able to perceive pain and pleasure and all the other things of the external world. We need to ask this question ourselves. So when you ruminate and think about this problem, this is one of those famous sutras from Veda Vyasa when he talks about, the creation. And look at this sutra and contemplate on it, because that is a master stroke for us to actually understand. It is highly unlikely that a jada or a matter can lead to conscious states and have the ability to make self-initiated action. So, when you ruminate and contemplate, you will arrive at a solution that only a sentient being can have consciousness and capacity to self-initiated action. So, I've updated this figure now. So, we have the mind, and now I've included a sentient being in this equation. So, the sentient being then perceives the external world, perceives pain and pleasure, perceives the existence of the external world and its own existence, and it is able to have self volition and able to initiate some action. So that is the next level of logical analysis of this problem, that now we have to accept that a sentient being is behind all this conscious states. Now the next question is the jiva, that is you and me who are sitting here and doing this satsang, are we capable of independent self-initiated action and achieve whatever we want? Okay? This is a pertinent question and a reasonable question. Are we able to make self-initiated action? Yeah. And are we able to achieve whatever we want? Our common experience is man proposes, God disposes. Whatever we think that we want to do, it actually never happens in our real life. And that is a source of misery and disappointment and so on. And that is the reason why we are going through the cycles of samsara. There is the answer there, that we are actually we do not even know what is going to happen tomorrow. We do not even know if I write an exam, whether I will pass that exam with distinction or I'm going to fail that examination. So we just do not know that. So that is the next question. Is the jiva, which is the sentient being, which is capable of having consciousness, which is capable of an element of self-volition, is it capable of independent self-initiated action? So when you ask this question, so this kind of contemplation doesn't happen overnight. You need to think about it for months and years and read the scriptures and see what our rishis have said, what our acharyas have said. When you do that, then you will understand that jiva is not capable of independent self-initiated action. Yeah. So there comes our Antaryarimi Brahmanama Brihadaranyaka Upanishad, which again gives you the answer. As I said before, Ye Atmani Tishtan, Atmanam Antaro, Yamayati, Yeshate Atma Antaryami. And I've split those words and given those meanings for you, so that Atma is master. Antara means he who governs. Antara means he who is separate from the Jiva. Yamayati means he who is governs. Antar means independent. Yamin means ones who governs. Amrutaha we know is eternal states. So the Brihadaranyaka Upanishad actually deals with this problem at great depths and great levels. So when you do that analysis, now you come to a situation that this figure now gets modified a bit more. You have everything made of matter here. Then there is this jiva who is a sentient being inside this body, but he is not capable of self-initiation. He is not an independent being. That is very obvious for all of us. So the Upanishads are telling us, Yeshata Atma Antaryami. So this guy who is inside the Jiva, he is called Antaryamin. Yeah, Antaratma as he is called Antaryamin. So there is the flow of logic there to say that the conscious, yes, jivas are conscious. Yes, jivas are capable of self-initiated action, but they are not independently able to do this. This is the experience of all of us. Experience should be the foundation for any philosophy, and I've told this so many times. Experience should be the foundation. You cannot brush experience as mithya. Anything that I perceive is mithya. Anything that I experience is mithya and illusion, just will not answer the questions for your life. Experience is real. Experience is the foundation of philosophy. any philosophy that goes against experience is not worth discussing about. So experience, experience, and experience. Many schools in Eastern philosophy and schools in Western philosophy and other religions base their philosophy on experience, because experience is real and we experience this situation in our lives. So when we take that into consideration, we understand then there is the jiva, who is a individual consciousness, who is conscious of the body that he occupies and who is conscious of the external world. Then there is this antaryaman, who is the super conscious. He is not only in one jiva, he is in infinite jivas and everywhere, and he is simultaneously conscious of everything else, including himself. Okay? So that is the distinction between Jivatma and Antaratma. Okay? Look at Katha Upanishad. Nityo Nityanam Chetanash Chetananam. HinduKnowledgeAcademy.com will celebrate Vedic culture and present its philosophies to the modern Hindu in an accessible format. Our ancient heritage is our greatest strength. Through preservation and dissemination, together let us spread positivity in the world. Thank you for listening and welcome to Hindu Knowledge Academy.